Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and what keeps us happy is when things are going the way we want them to move. Politics is a vehicle whereby we feel that we are a part of the solution oriented approach in democracy, but many times there is a disconnect between those who are representing us and whether they have access to what we are thinking as citizens. So to address this vacuum or gap, when there is a mind which is willing to think about solutions and out of the box solutions with the help of technology, then we get the presence of Shruti.
Hi, namaste.
No,
Thank you for having me.
there are technical glitch sometimes that happens while we are recording also, but to come up with the kind of structure that you have in the form of Pollsee, what led you to think about it?
This is such a good question. The problem I was solving for was for myself. My parents moved to Long Island, and I felt that I didn't know enough about the politics in the area. And so I scraped the web, and then I realized that a lot of local politicians don't have their policy positions online. They sometimes only have a Facebook link. They don't even have a website. So I thought that there's a massive disconnect. Um, and I couldn't really call them or email them. Like information about them was very sparse. So I thought to tap into that and make a tool available to them. And then since it's grown a lot more with a lot more workflows, but that was the origin story.
So let's learn a little bit about this tool so that our viewers get an idea as to what we are talking about. But even before going there, how do you see technology has influenced the way political system works? And we have heard that one country tries to interfere through social media, sort of nudging the algorithm to work in certain fashion, etc. So
Mhm.
do you see that technology is helpful or harmful?
I think that it's structured in a way where like, everyone is looking for voter sentiment or public sentiment, like, that's the main currency in politics, but oftentimes it's influenced by algorithms because it's like a pray and spray sort of, tactic where, there's ads or propaganda that's, like, geared towards, like, a regional district or, so sometimes it has a negative effect, but, the way that I'm trying to mitigate what you're trying to say is by, having the information only be shown to the people that need to hear it. So only on Pulsey, I would only hear from my local reps. I wouldn't hear any of the noise from other politicians or, on different levels, that don't concern me.
So I think that's a very important point. While we hear a lot about the attention span reducing, and then we have a lot of distractions. So staying focused on the issue is important. And let me share the look of the website that you have for Polsey, where we see some other founding members, the head of partnership, etc. But when we click on the download, it brings us to another space where you have the app of Polsey, and we will share that too. But tell me, is it the website or the app? And necessarily, if you want to take advantage of what Policy is offering, whether you are a representative or a voter, do you have to have the app, or there is another way also?
So currently it's mobile forward. It's meant to be on your phones, kind of like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and function in that sort of way. That's why I've kept it mobile forward. In the upcoming months, I will be making like a web app and an Android app, but currently it's only available on the App Store.
So
Um,
here it is, the way it looks, and we also have think local, act local, etc. So I believe you offer um, a facility for the voters to to connect with their representative? How that works out?
It's very simple. You can just if you go on the app, and I can just show you really quickly. Um, Give me one sec.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we are discussing about Pollsee, and those who have downloaded it, they will have additional features, and it is available on mm, both Windows and Mac, right?
no, it's only available on iOS, so only Apple
Okay,
currently.
sorry, Apple.
So currently, the way that it's set up, in order to get in contact with your electeds, you can email them right from the application, um, as well as if there is someone that you know is running and they're on the app. So currently, we don't have Kathy Hochul. Our reach isn't up to there. But if she was on the app, you would be able to just text her on the app, ask her questions, and get in contact with her. So this is for local representatives and for people that are running for office that are like elections that matter to you.
Because here's the question: where is the USP or the additional advantage that one would get through policy? They could have their Facebook page, as you mentioned earlier, or people can have direct access to their website, etc. So, what is the additional, let's say, strength that comes to me as a voter or to a representative?
So from the voter's perspective, I'll start there. I on Facebook, on social media, one, you have to have socials. I'm off of social media, so I don't like downloading Facebook just to follow someone. Two, the onus is on me. So on a local representative basis, I don't know my local representatives, and I don't want to have to look it up and then go follow them on Facebook. If on Pollsee, it just automatically sends me the information as it's coming in. It matches all of the representatives, all of their information. It just directly comes to my phone, and it updates very sporadic. Like when the new elects came in on January 1st for New York City, all of it updated itself. Um, and like I don't have to like the onus isn't on me to go like research and then find them, follow them, subscribe to different newsletters. It's all in one place. As for the person who's running for office or an elect, it's a way to get 100% voter acquisition. With social media and stuff, when you pay for ads to get in front of people, 1 million views on Facebook doesn't mean 1 million views from your constituents, let alone 1 million votes when it comes for reelection. So it's really important that your constituents know what you're doing in office, especially on a very local level. And this gives like a very good medium in order to get in front of the people that actually matter.
So now I would like to understand, when you are visualizing the scenario which empowers the representative to have direct access to the voter base, etc. That means your policy app should have enough of, call them those who are using it, in that direction. How has been the journey so far from the point when you started and when this came into being?
So I was really lucky. We got a lot of users off the bat because a lot of people knew what I was building and they have, an innate interest in the space. Because it's quite opaque right now. I was able to support 8 local campaigns in Long Island and New York, like Greater New York area, and I just signed a contract with New York City Council for the upcoming year, where one of the elects is actually using the application to announce, new policies, poll her constituents, and all of that. So that's super exciting. We've had more than 700 users online, and it definitely can stand to grow a lot more, and I'm doubling down on marketing, but that's been the journey thus far.
So when you have signed the contract with the city, what is it that is being offered from policy? Let's learn a little bit more in terms of, is it something to do with the policies? Is it something to do with what is being offered and the new sort of policy formulation where they may have input from the people, that sort of thing?
Yeah. So aside from one of the other things that Pollsee offers is policy proposals. So aside from like the election and answering and asking questions to your elects and all of the features that connect them, one of the major things is policy proposals. If in my neighborhood I want more trees, I shouldn't have to call, email, subscribe to newsletters and not hear back. Because oftentimes with lobbying, what happens is people who are really wealthy are able to get access to politicians and are able to get them to sway policy proposals, um, which is not really fair to the everyday person. So I'm trying to expose it as a marketplace via Pollsee. You can generate a policy proposal. I AI generate the proposal, so it looks very like legal document like. Um, your community crowd votes on it, so the people that are going to be affected by that policy will crowd vote, and after it reaches a certain threshold, then it's sent to the elect that's already on the application. So in District 4 in New York City, she's currently looking at all of the proposals that are coming in via Pollsee. So that's super cool, that she's able to see live time what people want. And I think that's super powerful.
So AI is helping in drafting the proposal, which may be considered for policy formulation. That kind of, is there any example so far as you started off with one issue that you felt in Long Island, and have you given the tools of policy to address some issues?
So currently, it could be any issue. I think one person in Pennsylvania who was using it said, "Hey, I want 3 trees per block in my neighborhood." And that actually went to an elect there, which was super exciting. Again, whether it passes or not, like, we don't know. Like, traditional lobbying, we don't know whether it's gonna pass or not. But the idea is brought in front of them, which is super powerful and that you could potentially influence everything around you. But yeah, that's one example. Currently, there's been examples about the MTA scheduling, in the neighborhood or transit deserts in New York City that have been talked about on the app. Um, yeah, but those are just examples. Again, we're in the formative stages and we're looking for more users to put their ideas out into the world.
So I'm talking to Shruti. She is technical founder of Pollsee, and that, of course, you can get more details from the website that is being displayed. But Shruti, I want to understand from the basic again in terms of, is it something which can be manipulated? Also, we need to be cognizant of. So how it works so that it is fair, and when you have candidates who are going to be using or are using policy to reach out to their voters, and you have two candidates from the same say space that they are contesting, how it is going to play out. And the second question would be related to the financial side, but first the operational side, uh, from the candidates, how they become a part of it.
Yeah, so from the candidate side, I really pride myself on keeping Pulsey very nonpartisan. So regardless, they can't pay me more for boosts. It's entirely reliant on them, how much they engage with their community, how much they get in front of their community, what they answer. That's entirely up to them. And may the best man win. Um, that sort of thing. Um, Everyone pays like again, like a bigger campaign, it's a sliding scale. So just to keep it equitable, if you're a smaller campaign, I would charge you less as opposed to a bigger campaign that has more money, that they can leverage. I would charge them more just to keep it equitable. So I'm trying to keep it as fair because people deserve to know both sides. That's like one of the main issues currently that we face that, we have like one like sort of like echo chamber, and it doesn't give a lot of people that have really great ideas a platform to actually, you know, um, come on to their ideas and like in political office. And it just becomes a big popularity contest, which I'm trying to stay away from.
So actually, I also got to see the Instagram post where one candidate was talking uh, about how this helped him.
Mhm.
And and uh, I, I I am I'm still not very clear as to the confidence that a candidate would have in Pollsee like a tool. So, how do you explain to a candidate that this is going to be an additional uh, empowering source for them to reach out to their voters? And so,
Yeah, for sure. So currently, the way that, especially on local campaigns, work, when he was campaigning, he said he was telling me, he was like, Shruti, this is like the worst possible thing. Like, he's like, it's so discouraging. Like I have to go knock on doors and hand out flyers. People shut the door on me. My town halls were pretty empty. Like, no one cares about town council in Oyster Bay. And he's just like, we decide how frequently the roads are paved. And he's like, we have an important job that affects your everyday life. And he's just like, not a lot of people take interest. And it's very disheartening because he was standing at the LIRR station, handing out flyers. People were like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Everyone's just going into work. So, and again, we're like mostly digitally native. And he had more, like on social media, he was able to post, but he wasn't able to answer questions from his constituents. Again, there's followers that are like, "Oh, this is my friend and I'm gonna follow him." And on a very local level, they maybe have 100 followers when there's 1,000 people that are supposed to be voting for them. So, Polsey was able to address that sort of issue where he was able to, talk more about his policy positions as opposed to, oh, marketing stuff on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a able to get away from having to shoot videos and stuff like that and just be real honest on the platform in front of his constituents and give him a platform that he otherwise wouldn't have outside of like town halls that were empty.
so now the question about the presence of constituents on policy. What
Mhm.
is your method of increasing awareness about uh, what it is offering?
So, namely your show. Thank you for having me. And I'm doubling down on marketing. I could do more marketing. Again, I am a technical founder, so I just got someone to help me with design and marketing. But it's an uphill battle, definitely getting it in front of consumers. I think I was really lucky in the first place because I'm well connected in New York City because that's where I grew up. Um, but yeah, just again, I'm on the steep hill of distribution, so I could do more.
Now, the question about the structure electronically, or like whatever be the language terms in the computer terminology that you have, which is good for n number of users. Let us say 5,000, and
Mm.
then when you have 5 lakhs or maybe much more, do you have the provision of the growth in the structure that you have built with the help of AI?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I completely programmed this myself. So like I didn't use Gen AI to like create the app. Um, yeah, I have it scalable. Again, like my background is in backend. So I was building when I was working at like a corporate job, I was building for like a really enterprise level solution. So I've used the same sort of structure for my application. So it can scale to 5 users, to 5,000, to 5 million, to 50 million, God willing, 500 million. But yeah.
So now let's talk a little bit about the financial side of it. When you have a startup like this, there are multiple areas that requires your attention, and one which is it easy for someone to duplicate it? Because once they know the idea, then in the era of AI, uh, how do you foresee that as a threat for this new startup?
I think that like the novelty comes that there's people that have already bought in from me, like campaigns, real people like that can testify to like the validity or viability of the software solution. And sure, like people can copy. I'm not very threatened by it because it requires you to get government. buy-in in order to do what it needs to do. Um, yeah. I mean, I'm not too threatened. Again, Uber and Lyft, they all coexist. I'm sure if there's more, it would validate the market more.
So, one while this continues, I am sure to grow in America. Do you see something similar relevant for other countries like India?
Yeah, so I think, um, in India, there is an app to, if I'm not mistaken, to connect to Modi directly.
Right, right.
Um, I think that's super powerful, and I feel like as opposed to having an app specifically designed for one person, I think that there is value in connecting politicians to everyday people and cutting out, like, the media. Sorry, no offense. I
No,
think that, like, there is some power, especially on the local level, because these people shouldn't, they, like, only be in front of us when they're asking for votes and asking for money for their campaigns. Like, it needs to be, like, a constant communication sort of thing. So I think there is power, and I hope to scale it globally. Like, nationally, it would be great, but internationally would be even better.
you so let's learn a little bit about who would you give credit to your inspiration or your role model or someone who you look up to in terms of your creativity as well as entrepreneurial skills.
Oh my gosh, that's such a loaded question. But I think my biggest entrepreneurship, um, model would be my dad. He has a gemstone business, and he has been an entrepreneur from the get-go. Um, and he's been like my main pillar of support for this. So he's definitely my role model, especially like coming from India here, starting a business from the jump. In terms of like entrepreneur otherwise, there are people that have been super cool women that have founded, really great companies, one of them being Epic Systems for medicine. She bootstrapped the software herself and she sold it to all of these hospitals, and she's been really great. So she's one of my main role models as well.
And how long it took you from the point when you thought of it this and the day when you felt, oh, now it is ready to be offered?
Oh my gosh, it still feels, I had a lot of iterations. So first, again, it's a very dense product. There's a lot of workflows. So I initially built it out. When you saw the video, that was with Dan Smith. I built out the product with just local campaigns in mind. Some of them took office and they were like, we would love to keep the community going. So build out that workflow. So I built out that workflow. And there was like a massive consumer drop off. Like voters were like, oh, we already voted. Why do we have to stay on the app? So then I was like, how can I keep them going? And so the lobbying aspect kind of took the policy proposal bit. So those three workflows, it took a long time for me to get here. So in total, it's been a year of me doing this, iterating, talking to users, iterating. So just we soft launched in October, and have been on a growth path since then. But yeah, it's been a lot of work in the back end for sure.
Want to say something more about making someone excited about Pollsee? When I say someone, it could be uh, a social activist. It could be a candidate for council or senate or congress, or it could be a political representatives. So, very briefly, just sum up what is it that they should look forward to consider downloading it and moving forward.
Yeah, I think it's like the possibility of influencing everything. There's no need to live in the side effects of anything. Like, sure, we voted for this person, but we get a say in what happens and what is done. We're already paying taxes towards, the way that we're living. And if you're not happy, we can say something, and this is a perfect medium to say that. If you want more parking, if you want different fire hydrants, if you want the roads to be different, all of these things that happen at a local level. If you have a problem, I implore you to download the app, make it be known, talk within your communities because again, we all are here together and we all deserve, to live in a happy place. So Yeah, I implore you to download the app.
So wonderful. Moving towards a happy place is very, very important. And when we look at tool like Pollsee, it is giving a collective space for our voice, and
Yes.
articulating our voice is very, very important in our life, social life as well as political life. And politically speaking, collective voice or chorus definitely plays an important role. And I appreciate your vision as well as where you are, and wish you a lot of success. Thank you, Shruti.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So that was Shruti, and here we are, looking forward to the growth of entrepreneurs like Shruti. And of course, when we learn more, then we participate more. That is the key ingredient for success of democracy.
Yes.
Thanks again, with
Thank
lots
you.
of good wishes. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.